Hi, this is Kerin Groves. I'm here at All About Grooming. It's a small business in Denton, Texas. Today we're going to meet Mandy. She's the owner of this dog grooming salon. She's going to tell us about her entrepreneurial journey, how she started this business, how she grew it, and we're going to meet some of these furry guys. Let's go talk to Mandy. This is Lila, and this is Mandy, and I'm Kerin, and today we're going to be talking to Mandy about her business, which is All About Grooming in Denton, Texas. It's a dog grooming studio, and there are some furry friends outside that want to get in, so just ignore them.
Yes.
So Lila's going to be part of our talk today. Yes.
She loves the attention.
She does.
She's
Okay,
happy to see that.
so you got the t-shirt,
Yes.
All About Grooming, love
All
it.
about grooming.
Tell us how that started. How did this company start?
Yeah, so I was born into the grooming industry because my mother was already a groomer when I was 2. So from as far as I can remember, she's owned her own grooming salon.
Okay.
That was in Gainesville.
Oh.
It was called Kerin's Canine Clips, and she was very successful. And she had a dream to live in Montana. So she ran the business for 15 years.
In Gainesville.
In Gainesville, built it up. It had boarding, it had grooming. She had 2 groomers, including herself. And so my first job was tending to the dogs, helping at the shop. So I've literally been doing this since I can remember. As long as I can remember, there's always been a dog salon. There's always been dogs around, and I love it. So obviously, I was born into that environment.
And you did just kind of as a kid, you just did the small tasks
Oh
that you
yeah.
could do.
Oh yeah. I mean, like everything from obviously you start with cleaning. You're a cleaner first.
Empty the trash.
Empty the
floor.
trash. Clean up after the dogs. There's always accidents to clean up after. So you're very humbled from the very beginning. You know that you're there to help. You're there to help and blow drying dogs. Brushing through their little tangles, so I mean, we were hands-on with dogs from a young age, and so I'm obviously really comfortable around dogs, but I never actually dived into grooming a whole lot. So whenever I was young and going to say, what do I want to become, it wasn't initially dog groomer, but I kind of always knew I want to own a business.
Because that's all you'd ever see.
Yeah, I saw Mom running a business. She was single with 3 kids, raising us on her, efforts. And I didn't realize how much I respected that part.
She really inspired you.
Yes, so she inspired me even though I didn't realize, that was where that inspiration was coming from. Her parents were also entrepreneurs. Their parents were also, and their parents before that. So and of course I'm always very close with my mom, always going to her for advice. What should I do? How do I make this work? How do I make my dream work? Because I knew that she would support whatever dream I had, and she did. And it was always, here, I think we could do this. I think she saw it as, okay, maybe I need to be there to help Mandy do this thing that she wants to do. But once we started spinning those wheels, what if you're here? I said, pets, let's just do the pet thing. It really came down to, do you want to help me while I keep doing my photography, or do you want to team up with what we've always done, and except do it together? And we just, we knew. It was just like a light bulb went off. We were like, if you just moved here and we opened All About Grooming in Texas, there's like this area in Sanger, kind of Denton area. It's growing so fast, like, what if we do? So then both of our wheels started turning about, what would that look like? Would you come here to Texas? Would you just get rid of everything in Montana? And so once we narrowed down all these decisions, the end result was open a shop in between Sanger and Denton, and let's see what happens. And it's been crazy successful. Very, very cool.
It didn't take very long, did it?
It didn't take as long. I mean, I kind of, I hoped that it would take off fast, but I think it exceeded my expectations for how fast it took off. Because mom salons, no surprise, are always successful. She's just extremely talented. She has a gift with animals, and a lot of people want to be a groomer, but they don't realize how much of it you have to have that natural ability. She always calls it her heartbeat, because she's like, it's literally, they just like my heartbeat or something. Because she's like, I don't know why they just calm around me, but maybe it's my heartbeat. So she always calls it her heartbeat, and I totally agree, because I've seen it my whole life.
So you left the birth photography. How did you miss that?
Okay, so I do miss it, but I feel like I've got the rest of my entrepreneurial career. If one day I want to pick back up on that, I totally could. And so, yeah, I do miss it sometimes. But
you did it for how long?
That was for 2 years. Yeah. But photography since I was like 13. It's always been a big passion of mine. So I'm better with dogs. I'm not so good with people. And I'm like, well, you better be good with people.
You're gonna have to figure it out.
You better be good with people.
Well, it was just you and your mom at first doing all the work, right?
All of it.
And at some
100%.
point, how did you know when it was, I guess a lot of business owners are at that place where it's too much for us, but not enough to have somebody else.
Sure.
How did you get over that hump?
We got to the point where we just ran some numbers, and what we try to do is stay 35% as payroll of gross sales.
Okay.
I take 35% and I say that's my allowance for payroll.
Okay.
So if sales can increase, then payroll allowance increase, and then I know whether or not I can fit someone in there. And then another tip that I thought was really helpful, I heard from someone else, some book I read. I can't remember the name of it. I think it's called Profit First. And it was Mike Michalowicz or something like that. I read that book, and he said if you're not sure whether or not you're ready to hire your next employee, every week we pay weekly, or whatever you pay. So let's say you pay every 2 weeks or something. Put the amount that you would have to pay that position into a savings account, and if you're
To practice.
Yes, and if your operations account is healthy still, even though you're putting that money somewhere else, then you're ready, and then you can hire them.
So you did that?
Yes, so I did that. So now we have 2 bathers, 1 prepper, 1 admin, mom grooms, and I do operations management. So that's 6 people on the payroll.
Wow. And they're all full-time?
One of them's part-time.
Okay.
But just by hair, she, because she goes to school part-time.
Okay.
She does her college courses, and so 1 day a week, she's not there for a full day, so that puts her in part-time category.
Okay.
Yeah, but I mean.
And you run the whole business side of it. What's your role? What are your responsibilities?
Oh gosh.
You're not grooming very often.
I'm not, but I can. If I'm hands-on, I can do almost everything. So mom's the artist. Like, she can make, and I literally mean it's artistry what she can create from a shaggy little pup and turn him into this cute little Yorkie or a cute little poodle or whatever. I mean, she's amazing. She does the artistry, and it does take a lot of patience and a lot of skill, and she's honed that for 30 years. So of course when I go in and I'm helping, I can get it, the most of it done, and then I'm like, okay, mom, do your magic. Do your finishing magic.
Put the icing on the cake.
I'm like, here, but I can definitely help if we're just super slammed. I can go in and help get some progress made. I wear every single hat there is. But let's answer the question. On the day-to-day, I'm making sure that the marketing stuff is being done, which includes social media, any kind of advertisement that we put anywhere. I design them, submit them, make sure they're because there's usually deadlines for all of these things. So every marketing thing, there's usually some kind of deadline. We have a lot of people are needing information a lot. So I've created infographics that have all of our services, all of our prices, all of the little details that are like the most frequently asked questions. I create infographics that are really helpful, submit those to printing companies, usually a local Cooper's Copies is who I usually use. And they, I go back and forth with them until those are complete. So the marketing part by itself keeps me pretty busy, but then there's the HR part, where we're constantly trying to find or develop new groomers. Because right now we have one groomer. A salon that gets busy, the only solution to help with how busy we are is to hire another groomer. Hiring another groomer is actually really hard to do in our industry because it's kind of a dying art. I know. And if you ask any other grooming salon and you say, what's your biggest struggle? It's finding talent. It's finding the next groomer.
Because everybody has dogs, but nobody wants to be a dog groomer.
Well, yeah, and some people want, like I said, some people want to be, or they think they want to be, but when they actually get into the reality of it, the challenges stop them in their tracks, and they say, oh, never mind.
What kind of challenges would those be?
Being able to stay calm and collected whenever a dog is not calm and collected isn't for everybody. Not everybody can just go, okay, we're gonna reset. You have to almost be like a dog whisperer, a dog trainer, a dog expert, and then, but also be super talented and creative with creating a shape, like a sculptor.
Mm-hmm. That's the artistic side.
You have to be creative.
Artistic and the psychology side.
Yeah.
And there's not too many people you found that have both.
It's a challenge, and most people who think they fit that mold, a lot of times there's other stuff that stops them, like they can't get through the schooling part or something, or they get too frustrated with and it's physically hard too. So a lot of times people quit because they're physically unable.
You're on your feet all day.
You're on your feet all day. You're maybe picking up or like even if this, if Lila, if she's getting groomed and she wants to lay down, you're lifting her every 10 seconds maybe. Big dogs like Tucker, you're lifting them. They want to lay down. Then you lift them up again. They want to lay down. You lift them up again. And you're using your shoulders, your arms, your hands. A lot of people get carpal tunnel in that business and stuff. And I mean, and it's a dirty job too. It's not glamorous. You're not just and you can't tell your client. So like someone who cuts human hair, you can tell them stay still. You're dealing with something that doesn't want to stay still. So it's a moving target. I mean, there's so many challenges that when people actually get into the reality of it, they're like, "Ooh, I don't know if I can do that every day." But the people who are meant for it, like Mom, like Kerin, they love it. They want to do it every day. They can't wait to get out of bed because they're gonna see what new dogs they have today, and they're so excited to transform them. So
you have to go find those people.
It's a rare fit.
And how do you find them?
So what I've discovered, and obviously this salon has only been under my, management. Mom's salons previous have been under her own management of finding groomers and however, she decided to find people. This one has only been under me it'll be 3 years in the summer. So I have only had 3 years of experience of trying to find someone. What I've found is that the best route is to train the right personality into a groomer.
Find the person that's got the temperament for it.
Yes.
And teach them the skill.
Yes.
Gotcha.
If you go searching for someone who has 5 or more years of grooming experience, if they're looking for a salon, the chances are they didn't fit with that salon for a reason. Or if they used to own their own salon and now they're ready to work for someone else, that's also kind of a red flag, unfortunately. Like it probably didn't work out for a reason if they're searching. Here's another thing that most grooming salon owners will all agree with. If someone has the loyalty and they the work ethic to be an amazing groomer, and the patience and all the things that it takes, and the skill, they probably have their own salon.
They're your competitors.
Yeah, which is fine. There's plenty of dogs to go around. I never box that into like, oh, there's another new groomer in town. I'm like, more, I want to meet you. I want to know who you are. I want to be able to send dogs to you if I can't groom them for some reason. Doesn't happen a lot, but what if we, get to the point where we're so busy, we have to turn away some. I want to know who I'm sending them to. So I love new groomers. I love groomers in general. But like I said, if they check all the boxes of a wonderful groomer, they probably have their own salon. Because they're probably able to just work one-on-one with a dog or alone, or have a mobile unit or whatever. There's not, the barrier to having your own salon is relatively low to the barriers to getting into other businesses, because it's not regulated by like licensing. So if you wanted to be a hair salon owner, you might have a few more hurdles than if you wanted to start. Now I say that, but trust me, there's a lot of steps still. Just not having to have a grooming salon certification it cuts down like one step out of the, running your own business steps. And then a lot of them do it, and then they realize how much work it is, and they go, oh, never mind, I'm just gonna work for someone else. Which, that's how you end up with a team of groomers, is some of them have tried to have their own place before. They don't like all of the extra hours and all the extra work, so they want to work for someone else. But what I found is the best way is to find that temperament first, find that person who's just a natural with dogs, usually a bather that comes in, and it's like, I've always wanted to work with dogs. Well, it's a wonderful way to, as an entry level, come work for 60 days and then tell me what you think. We'll just hire you on as like a probationary period, do 60 days of actually working the job, because again, a lot of people think it's playing with puppies all day and it's super relaxing, and it can be very relaxing because it's so rewarding to like be working with an animal, but you have to be on your toes. You have safety, you're constantly like, you have to like follow all these safety guidelines, you have to follow all these cleaning guidelines, you have to follow, it's structured a lot more than people think it probably is. And then if they're just like, if I can see that in them, that they have what, like Mom talks about, the heartbeat thing. If they have the heartbeat, I'm like, you're gonna stick around because I want you to be
And then
groomed.
we'll train you the grooming skills.
So then that's what we just recently developed, was teaming up with a remote learning for grooming. So it's an online program that we can send them through if we want to invest in that girl that has the heartbeat, or that guy that has the heartbeat, and we're like, you're the one. Sit them down, say, do you want to become a groomer? Do you want to pursue this? And they're like, yes, please, I just want it so bad, but I don't know how to do it. We say, okay, we'll put you through the program. And so it's an online, they submit pictures of their work, of their practice. So it's reading and then testing online and practicing in person with us at the salon while they're working, taking those pictures, submitting them to a mentor online, making sure they check the boxes. We also have to check the boxes that everything's done and done well, and then they move through stages until they graduate with a certificate of being an official certified pet groomer.
And how long does that usually take?
It takes about 6 months.
Okay.
So it's pretty fast for comparatively to if you were just trying to only get your associates, and it takes 2 years, and then build on top of that, and it takes another 2 years to get your bachelor's. You could be in a career ready to make money
in 6 months or so.
in 6 months.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be worth it in the end, but you will invest a lot of your time, a lot of your actual money, and then a lot of your, what do you call that, like opportunity cost. I'm busy doing this, I'm not doing something else, but it's worth it. Like if I'm on the phone for an hour with someone, I'm not going to get paid for that hour.
No, but you've invested that into a potential future customer.
Yes, and then you have no idea how many times, just because I treat every single person, I genuinely believe every person is that one client that will be the game changer. And I don't know where that comes from. That's just me. I'm like, so let's say someone knows, if your business is, you're a restaurant, and you know that person coming in is a food critic, you're gonna be like rolling out the red carpet, right?
Yeah.
For them. So I treat every person that calls me, texts me, or comes in and drops in like they are the mayor of Dogtown, and their influence is going to be the one thing that makes everybody else go, yeah, they're the place to go. I just treat everyone like they're the leader of the mom
You can't
group.
go wrong with that.
And then if they're someone down the road, like trying to get financing to grow, the guy who I'm talking to was recommended by a client. But then also, once I sat down and talked with him, he's like, I didn't even know, but you're one of my best friends is your client already. And then when he tells me her name, I'm like, I love her. I know her dogs. Her dog is Finley. Like, I know.
It pays off down the line.
He's like, oh, wow. I can't. And, when it does come to fruition like that, it's so rewarding.
Mm-hmm.
And you know that those hours that you spent are well spent.
Yeah.
The efforts, the time, the nights that you're just like, I'm so tired, I'm so beat, I'm so done. But then you're like, oh, it's so worth it. I love it. So
You wouldn't have it any other way.
no. Yeah, that's how I operate. That's how my brain works.
You can't imagine working for somebody else.
At this point, can't imagine. And COVID made us all think about that. COVID was like, if you're shut down and have no income, what you gonna do? What if you can't even bring one dog in? How are you gonna pay the bills? And maybe you should have a 9 to 5 because of these kind of challenges. It definitely made all of us take a look and go, oh gosh, do I just need to like work for a bank or something, or just But then when you push through it and make it through those challenges,
you figured it out.
you just have to be adaptive, and you just have to be ready for worst case scenario, but just push through. Things are always going to be changing. Mom was definitely like, things have gone down the toilet before and they always bounce back. And so I'm so blessed to have a business partner / mother / mentor that's like, don't worry,
We'll ride it out.
We'll ride it out. Because if I was doing it alone, I might be like, oh, never mind, changing my career path. I'm changing my mind. But luckily I had, support like that to get through those hard times whenever you're not quite sure why you are putting in so many hours for something that could inevitably fail, or fear of failure, all of those things. But you just,
You have had those thoughts sometimes.
Oh, for sure. Any entrepreneur that says, no, I just cruised on through and everything was peachy.
You don't believe them.
I don't believe them. I don't believe them for a second, because there's multiple times a week that I'm like, why am I doing this? It's so hard. But then when that reward comes through, you get reminded, and you get re-energized, and you get through the burnout, and you're like, okay, or you fix something. If something's
it's a problem, you resolve the problem.
Yeah.
And go on.
If something's causing the burnout, if you didn't put enough good boundaries and good protocols in place, and that resulted in this problem, well, cool, now you're the CEO, you can change it. Are you gonna change it? Yeah.
You can fix it. You
Just
have the
like
power.
we stopped working Saturdays.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's a great boundary setting. I need a weekend.
Yes, we realized we were like, we're not gonna work weekends, and then we're like, well, there's so many people that want us on Saturday. Let's just do one Saturday a month. That turned to two Saturdays a month. Then it turned to sometimes in the busy of July, or the busyness of before Christmas, maybe we'll do 3 Saturdays a month. Then I was realizing that by the time having one day to rest was not enough. And it wasn't enough for how physical the job is.
Sure.
So I thought, these girls are getting tired, my staff is tired, they're getting burnt out. It's not worth it. It's not worth whatever that might bring to the table to be open that extra day. So then I said, I'm just gonna set that boundary because I have small children. Whenever they are involved in, let's say, soccer, the games are always on Saturday. The balance, the work-life balance, the life part was a lot happening on the weekends. Because as any working parent knows, if you work Monday through Friday, you're pretty much spending getting ready for school and getting ready for bed with your kids. And I didn't want that to carry over into the weekend. So as much as a few people grumbled, I was like, I'm not gonna be open Saturdays anymore. And then it worked out. It worked out just fine because most of those people who were like, but Saturday is the only day that I can come in. When I said, we're just not open on Saturdays anymore.
They figured it out.
They called me and go, I got Tuesday off. Can I book Tuesday? I said, yep.
Yeah.
Hey, I got one day off this month and it's going to be Wednesday the 21st.
And I can go in late or leave early or whatever. Yeah. People will work it out.
They adjusted, and
You didn't really lose any customers.
No,
like that.
I don't think so. I mean, not that
Maybe a few. But.
I didn't get any text saying you lost me forever.
Oh.
So I hope everybody. I feel like all my usual Saturday people, I'm still seeing their faces, and so that's good.
That's part of that long-term sustainability. If you get burned out, you get tired, you have no balance, then you can't maintain that for a long period of time.
And if anything, I would coach new entrepreneurs to decide what those healthy boundaries would be from the beginning and just stick to them. It's a lot easier to just be like, we've never done Saturdays and that's just the way it's going to be, than it is to say
to do it and then have to walk
to
back
do it
on
and then go, okay, we're taking that away. Sorry. And so it's a lot easier to say, we've never answered text messages on the weekend, we're always going to answer on Monday at 9. Then they're like, okay,
Don't get people used to expecting that.
Yes.
It's a lot easier.
Most people.
But in growth mode, it's hard not to do that.
Yes. I would just say, if you're in growth mode, everything you say yes to, be prepared to keep having to say yes to that. Like, are you okay with answering questions at midnight? Or are you gonna, create healthy boundaries? I've done a lot of learning about that, for sure.
Learn from mistakes and successes.
Yes. Lots of that. Lots of it.
That's good advice, because work is work and family is family.
Yeah.
And you don't want to shortchange either one.
Yeah. And those little kiddos, they grow up so fast. You will never talk to anybody who says, oh, I don't know, it just drug on and on. Like every mom I know, and I know a lot of them, they're like, I can't, they just go so fast, and where did it go?
You don't want to miss
So I don't want to miss things, and that later on I'll be like, oh, it's because I was so focused. I definitely give my business and my leadership and all of that in that area, I give it a lot of weight, but I try to balance it out enough to where I don't feel like I'm missing my kids' childhood as well. And it's not all, it gets jumbled up a lot, where I'm like, okay, well, I think I probably put Brennan on the screen for 3 hours today, but it was because I had to do this project for, income taxes or whatever, or for the business's taxes. You just, sometimes you're like, ooh, it's getting a little, I'm probably imbalancing things a little bit,
but your parents,
it's always a new day.
Yes, you get a fresh, clean slate. And your parents and your grandparents and your great-grandparents, they all figured out a way to make it work, and you learned how to do that by watching them.
Yes.
So your kids are probably going to be entrepreneurs too.
They probably would.
I'll come back in about 20 years and find them.
See what Bailey, Slade, Brennan, and Arthur are doing. What are they going to,
I bet they'll be entrepreneurs too.
At least one out of the 4
I
probably.
Bet they will.
Let's see, out of my grandparents' 4 kids, 3 of them are entrepreneurs, 1 works for a company. So all the other ones run their own businesses. So.
It's what you see, it's what you experience.
Yeah. And I love that part. I love them seeing me have a dream, have a vision, also with their grandmother having the vision too, and then us just like working together to make it happen. I feel like hopefully only good things would come from that. Hopefully they'll be like, wow, because I know for sure just from my childhood, a lot of times I was like, my mom she rocks, like she's amazing. I still feel that way to this
and I
day.
bet your kids feel that way about you.
Aw,
I hope so.
I hope so. I don't hear it yet, but they're young.
When they're older, it'll come
Right
back.
now I hear, Mom, come to.
Why are you on the phone?
Why are you still talking to that person? And I'm like, oh, just give me a minute. But yeah, it's fun. It's fun to be on the pursuit of a vision. I feel like if I'm not on the pursuit of some vision, I just lose, I fizzle out, and I lose my spark, and I don't want to lose that, so I just keep doing what I'm doing. Even on the days it's hard, I'm like, I kind of turn to my husband, I'm like, dude, can I just be a stay-at-home mom and do nothing but take care of children?
And after about a week, you'd be bored.
Yeah. I probably would.
Yeah.
I mean, because trust me, the kids are a full-time job, the business is like another baby, I always say that. I'm like, the baby, the business, it needs me. It's crying. It's crying.
I'll be right back.
It's in the corner, and I have to go give it some love and attention. And then in just a minute, I'll be back to my human baby. So, but yeah, it's a
I think you're balancing it pretty well.
Oh, I'm trying. I'm definitely trying.
Yes.
I'm putting in the effort.
Well, we really appreciate you sharing all
Yes.
your stories
Oh my
and
gosh, I
your
could talk forever.
experience. Well, we always can learn from each other, and
Yeah.
I learned from you, and now other people will get to benefit from that. So
Well, I hope so.
thank you for doing that.
I hope I helped.
You did.
Yeah.
And you did too. You were so well
Good job,
behaved.
Lila.
Good job.
Lila, the interview dog.